In this video, we're going to learn about event bubbling. So let me go into our app.js and actually cut this out, create a new one called mouse events.js and paste it in here. And now we can create a new file of event bubbling.js and also a second one of event delegation. Now, what are these two actually mean? So let me go into app and let's start creating here something. First, let me create a const with parent, and let's grab on from the document dot query selector. Let's grab onto the input email again. Let me open this up actually. It's much easier this way. So style element, let me zoom in. I want to grab onto this, so it has an ID of input email, copy it, and let's go to the console now. And let's also zoom in a bit. Okay, so I hope you can all see this. So what is event bubbling? Well, it's another way around. It's an event propagation, and it has three phases. It has a capturing phase, a target phase, and a bubbling phase. And let me start from this. Let me go a bit to the start. So when an event happens, an element, it first runs the handler on it, then its parents, then all the way down to his ancestors. Okay, so let's start with the first phase, capturing phase. This is the phase where the event is first registered with the outermost element of the DOM. Then it's progressed down to the DOM tree towards target elements through its children nodes, running events handlers, and then on all elements which have an event handler registered. Okay, so then comes the targeting part, and the targeting phase is actually when an event is registered with the target. If there are event handlers, they are run. And the last phase is the bubbling phase. Then the event is registered with the target element, handle is run. Then all the parent nodes of the target consecutively receive the event, and handles attached to that event plus parent element are run accordingly. Okay, so this is very complicated, but don't worry, we are going to explain it. So let me first of all check if I grabbed onto this correctly. This is the beginning of JavaScript, so always do this. Check, always check. Okay, so we grabbed onto the right thing. Let's comment this out. Okay, now let's say parent dot add event listener. I'm going to add a event of click, and now a function, and this function will do a console log of the string of Norbert. Okay, so if we click in here, the string of Norbert is run in our console. Now let me grab onto the entire form. So let's say document.query selector. We're going to select from the form the class of form group. Okay, so let me show you this. If I want to have the entire form, where is you? There it is. Let me make this smaller. So in our form, we have this form group. Okay, so we're grabbing onto the form group, and you can see each of these divs has a class of form group. Email address, the password input. So this is not only the input, but it's also the label, the input, and this small tag right down here where we have this text. Okay, and then comes the next group, form group. So the div with the class of form group, label, input, and so far and so on. Okay, let's add to this a event listener of a click, and then let's run a function which is console log LoRa. This should have a dot here. Okay, so let's go back to our console. So if we click email, and this should be a string. So if we click email, then Norbert and LoRa is run. If we click password, nothing happens because when we selected this with query selector, only the first form group was selected. Now, if I click on the form, anywhere within the form, you can see that Laura is, actually, let me comment out Norbert. Let's refresh. So if I click it in here in the input tag or outside of here, then Laura is also logged within our console. But if I click outside of this, as I said, form group only selects the first one and it selects the entire group. So even if I click on the label, Laura is logged within our console. Okay, so let's go down here and let's say document.query selector. I'm going to select now the form, so the class of form, because this form also has a class. Let's go down here. So we have the form, the tag element of form, and it also has a class of form, okay? And we're going to add to this, so to the parent, the form is the parent to all of this, a event listener of click, and then a function, and when we run this function, we will console log Arabella, the string of Arabella. Now, this is actually the difference with event publishing. So let's check this out. We're up here. If I click within the input tag, then Laura and Arabella are run. If I click within the password tag, Arabella is run. But even if I click outside somewhere, wherever I click, Arabella is still running. And Laura is only running when I'm specifically clicking up here in the form group. So when I added this event listener to the form, it actually added an event listener to everything. Okay, so it doesn't matter where I click, I can actually, let me just delete, comment out Laura. Even if I click in each of these input tags, even if I click on the labels, you can see Laura is running because the event has gone down to each parent, to each child of this parent of form. So for example, if I would go document.query selector, and let me select the body tag. So this will select the entire body and add the event listener of click and a function. And let's console log now. This is the body. Okay, so now let's try this. If I click someone here, you can see that this is the body is logged. If I click within the form, then not only that this is the body is logged, also Arabella is logged. And now if I comment back in Laura, so let's check this out. If I click anywhere within our HTML, within our body tag, this is the body is logged. So the click event, the event listener is checking for the click, it listens for it, it grabs onto it, the function is run. This, and we are running now. This is the body, the string. If I click in the email, which has now 3 event listeners, it has the event listener of click for this input tag, which will display as Laura. Then it has the Arabella for the entire form, and then it has the event listener, which comes down from our body tag. This is the body. So in this case, all 3 of them are logged. And if I click only on the password, then what should I get? I should get Arabella and the body tag. So let's click in here. Okay, so I get these 2. If I click in the input tag, I would get all 3 of them. And if I would click on the body tag, then I would only get this. Okay, so I hope you get event publishing. Yeah, so see you in the next one. Bye-bye.